This week has been insane. This is a recap of everything that's happened this week, the good and the not so good. Let's talk about it.
So I want to start this by giving a huge shout out to my brother, Stacy. Please head over to his channel, hit that subscribe button, and check out the 3 videos that he's done on this topic. I'll actually be stealing some clips from him. Basically, to summarize it, a famous food critic, TikTok food critic, Keith Lee, who's also a UFC fighter, he's been doing a countrywide tour where he stops at different Black-owned restaurants, reviews the food, reviews the customer service, and he gives his opinion. And because of that, he's become a pretty big deal in the food scene. So big of a deal that now when he goes to places, he has his family go in to place their order to get the baseline experience of the establishment. So he's not treated differently just because of his platform. And when I first saw this story on Stacy's page, it really struck me how similar some of these issues that we have with Black-owned businesses are with some of the issues that we have with some Black women. So I wanted to kind of juxtapose the two. Black-owned businesses, and again, I want to be very clear, this includes African-owned businesses, are notorious for their terrible customer service. And as somebody with a business degree, I feel multiple ways about this. Number one, I understand that Black-owned businesses don't have the same legacy as their white-owned counterparts. So the money isn't there, the staffing isn't there, the business experience isn't there. So we have to have a little bit of grace, right? They're not going to be as quick. They're not going to necessarily be able to produce the same quantity as their white-owned business. However, you would think that we would overcompensate with some of the soft skills, things like customer service. But what you find is very often when you go into a Black-owned business, they look at you and treat you like you ain't worth a damn, like you are bothering them for wanting to patronize the business. Jamaican restaurants are notorious for this. African restaurants are notorious for this. And what's difficult is that the food tends to be really, really good. It's a running joke that if you go into a Jamaican or African restaurant and the customer service is good, the food is going to be bad. Or if the food is good, the customer service is going to be terrible. And as Black folks, I think it's high time that we demand more. What's particularly frustrating about this situation is that instead of the restaurateurs to take this critique well and improve their business, they, Kandi Burruss, the owner of Honey and Milk, I think, chose to be defensive and petty, which again juxtaposes perfectly with what we see happen with our women.
The company caught wind of it, and this was their response, dog.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the real milk and honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
Daddy, you don't know Keith Lee?
Yeah.
No.
God damn, they really try to play Keith Lee like that, huh? Crazy. And on top of that response, you have an employee, a Milk and Honey employee saying this right here. Y'all let an autistic man tell you what to eat. Also, it's only TikTok. Nobody give a funk in real life. Be funkin' for real. And yes, y'all see her name. The Real Manic Mogul, Milk and Honey Management. Yeah. But the same ones that was scrambling around trying to serve that man, even though they had an alleged deep cleaning situation going on at the store.
Keith Lee went to these restaurants. He had a bad experience. He told his millions of followers about his bad experience. And instead of owning up to it and putting in systems to fix the problem, instead, no, the problem is Keith Lee. Similarly, when we talk about some of the issues with our female delegation, instead of owning the problem and moving towards solution, it's who hurt you. It's you're not man enough. A real man would ...
I really just wanted to say I do appreciate Keith Lee for stopping by our restaurant and trying to show us love. It is very unfortunate that we couldn't serve him and his family. We would have loved to, okay? But he's right. We don't take to-go orders on the weekends, and the simple reason is because we do love and appreciate the people who come and support our restaurant. On the weekends, we get a lot of community support, people in our city that show up for us, as well as a lot of people from out of town. So with that being said, we don't want to overwhelm our kitchen by having to, have such long times for the people who are actually at the restaurant, plus having to do to-go orders, because obviously that would make the wait times even longer. So that's the reason for that. For those of you, I saw a couple of people was like, why wouldn't they take to-go orders? Well, that's why. Anyway, with that, outside of that, I want to say thanks to Keith for trying to even show up to our restaurant and show us love. Thanks for trying to bring your family by, and maybe next time we'll still get a chance to serve you.
All right, so that was Kandi Burruss. Now, some people aren't feeling that she didn't acknowledge the preferential treatment that Keith Lee said that he received, that he wasn't really feeling that in comparison to how other patrons are being received at the restaurant. Now, this person says the point keeps being missed. Keith wants to be treated good before y'all found out it's him. That's the only way he can give an honest review. If y'all only give people with clout preferential treatment, then that is a problem. This person says the whole point is to treat everybody the same. But a lot of y'all self-esteem is so low that you would prefer a celeb be treated differently.
And the bigger picture here is that our community, being a matriarchy, has led to an effeminate disposition. And that effeminate disposition is bled into our way of doing business. And ultimately, it hurts us. Because with restaurants especially, they have a notoriously low profit margin. I think to be a quote-unquote successful restaurant, you're operating at a 3-4% profit margin. And again, these are restaurants that are scaling. But in our community, where the focus is just looking like success, as opposed to the sustainability of said success, and the scalability of said success. No, we don't focus on good business practices that actually help us grow and maintain what we've built. We just focus on the aesthetic of being a boss, the aesthetic of being successful, the aesthetic of looking like money, or better yet, not looking like what we've been through. And again, we see this play out with women as well. Black women are making so much money. Black women are graduating with so many degrees. Black women are the highest group of first-time home buyers. But we don't talk about the fact that Black women are also the highest group as far as student loans. Also mortgage defaults, homelessness. See, we don't talk about the other side of the coin, credit card debt. But one of the things about America that is great and also problematic in a way is that you do not have to look like the reality of what you are. On a low level, there's makeup to help you forget that your face isn't that nice. There's credit to help you forget that you don't make that much money. There are government subsidies to help you forget that you're not successful, you're not responsible. And even in the business world, there are some bailouts to help you forget that this business is a failure. So you get to live perpetually in a fantasy. And again, we're seeing this play out with some men and women, and we're definitely seeing this play out in businesses. And what breaks my heart the most about Black-owned businesses is that very often, just like in Keith Lee's experience, there's preferential treatment given to celebrities, influencers, things like that. You go in a restaurant, you might have to wait an hour. He goes into the restaurant, his table will be ready in 5 minutes. Now, what's interesting is that same or similar preferential treatment is also given to non-Black people. And I know some of you guys have actually seen this play out where a fellow Black person will greet your white counterpart with a more customer service friendly version of themselves, a more accommodating version of themselves, just like we say Black women do who divest, than the version that they greet you with, because they assume that you're going to be a bad guy, a bad customer, whatever the case may be. And obviously that's complex, but in the business world, the burden of proof lies on the business owner. You have to be the one to set the tone. That's why when you go into certain restaurants, certain stores, the first thing the clerk says is welcome to, or thank you for coming to, or thank you, how can I help you, whatever the case may be, because they want to set the tone. We welcome you here. We're glad that you're here. We want you to spend your money with us. Now, if you decide to be a dick or a bitch after that, that's you. But they set the tone. Now, with Black-owned businesses, the tone that's set is what you want. The tone that's set is the list of arbitrary rules of the things that we do or we do not do for reasons that they can't even articulate. Or because of terrible business practices, instead of hiring more people, more staff to man your kitchen or bus tables or welcome guests. You would rather just hog as much money as you can while neglecting the very people who keep your business afloat. Black business owners, we have to do better. We can't just say, oh, it's the community not supporting us. No, you're not making yourself what's worth supporting. Because again, you're more interested in being a boss than being a servant. And for people in the service industry, if you're going to open a hotel, start a restaurant, be a bartender, things like that, your job is to serve. And that doesn't necessarily mean you need to act like people's servant, but you have to be able to humble yourself in a way that prioritizes their experience, not your ego.
Black people have the worst customer service in the motherfucking world. And you can say that you don't agree with that because I'm gonna fuck why. If we get our customer service better, we'll make more business. Bottom line. So you can say whatever you want.
When you go to the Chinese restaurant, they nice to you. They, hey Ray, how you doing today? No, they just as mean.
Hey, I don't go to the fucking Chinese restaurant.
All right, but you know what I'm saying, Ray. Like,
I don't go.
We can yell. You're yelling. Don't make your point.
I'm speaking for Ray.
At the end of the day, agents don't sit there and say, hey, your customer service has to be perfect. Your product has to be A1 before I support you. They support you.
Bro, I spend $500,000 a year on bullshit, bro. And I love spending money. And the reason why I don't spend with black establishments like that, because they got fucked up attitudes. They don't give you a smile. They don't even say, hello, how you doing, man? I'll take your order. But I'm supposed to keep spending with them because they look like me? Fuck that. We are in the service business. I am in the service business. I am successful. 16 years later, I love Tehran. I love Tehran. Guess why you love Tehran? Because Tehran understands when I walk in this bitch, I'm a service. Yeah. You don't look at this bitch and walk here like I'm the biggest songwriter in the world. Y'all all need to bow down to me. That's why we rich. And my thing is a black man that has made millions of dollars and want to see other black people make millions of dollars. I know the one thing that's the difference is the fucking attitude. That's why I yell, because the attitude is the difference. And if you fix your attitude, everything else will follow. But you think, well, they ain't got to fix their attitude. Well, we ain't them. So hold on, stop. So I'm trying to teach you how to get to a certain place, and you don't want to accept that you got to change your motherfucking attitude if you do. And instead of change your attitude, you want to bring up what Asians do. I don't know if the motherfucker is smiling by the way they talking. I don't know their culture. I know our culture, and I know our culture. Black women have bad attitudes, and so do a lot of black people. And my thing is that we want to make money, then fix your motherfucking attitude. Or you'll be off, and you'll see another motherfucker there smiling. They'll be like, they only picked her because she's white. No, we picked her because she smiled.
So last month, I placed an order at a restaurant close to me called Wakanda Lounge. So I called in, like I have many times, to place an order. I wanted jollof rice and I wanted asun. And the lady that I spoke with said it'll be about 20 minutes. I said, okay, thank you. I'll be there when it's ready. Because of previous experiences, I waited an hour before I left. When I got there, she asked me my name, told her my name. She asked me my order. Told her my order. She said, I'm sorry, I didn't put in your order. Would you mind waiting another 20 minutes? Now, mind you, this restaurant is about 30 minutes away from where I live. She didn't say I'm sorry in a way where I'm sorry and here's what I will do to compensate for my mistake. I'm sorry, here's a discount. Would you mind waiting? I'm sorry, the food's on us. I'm sorry for making you wait. I'm sorry, next time you come back, here's a 50% off, whatever the case may be. It was just, I'm sorry, would you mind waiting? Guess what I did? I left. Now, 2 weeks later, I had a craving for that same dish. And I said, you know what? Let me give these motherfuckers another chance. So I called. And this was a different young lady. This young lady was characteristically mean as soon as I got on the phone. But I said, my order. She said it would be 20, 30 minutes. I said, okay. However, the last time I placed an order, I showed up after an hour and it wasn't ready. Could you guarantee me that this time it won't happen again? She didn't say, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Did we make amends for it? Whatever the case may be. She said, no, I can't guarantee anything. You just have to show up and whatever happens, you know. And I said, well, can't you at least guarantee the food will be ready? And she goes off on this defensive spiel. I hung up. Haven't been back there since. This shit is unacceptable. And as black patrons, as pro-black as we may be, it is high time we start calling a spade a spade. The shit is unacceptable. And at some point, these people need to start going out of business and maybe trying again and prioritizing customer service or just working a 9 to 5 because entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. But grace is finite. It runs out. And if you're in Greenville, South Carolina, You can go to Wakanda Lounge if you want. You can experience the moderate to terrible customer service, and you can tell them about themselves. But as Black folks, our reflex is to treat each other like we ain't worth a damn, never actually realizing who we might be talking to, or who they might know, or what power or influence they might have.
I feel like Atlanta restaurants, they don't like to make money. I feel like they don't like people. They don't like their customers. They just don't fucking like it. You could barely order in Atlanta restaurants. Like you go like, hey, I would like to make an order. Oh yeah, we don't take orders. We don't take orders. It gets to the point that I literally have to name, like I have to tell like people that order food from me, like, can you just name drop my name? Because first, they don't do no pickup orders. They don't do deliveries. They just don't do shit. Second, Atlanta restaurants, right? They be closed on the most random shits. Like it's like you look at you go looking for a restaurant on Google and it's like, oh, this shit look good. Oh, they closed. What is that? What do you mean? Y'all niggas is closed Monday through Wednesday? Or they'll just have the most random days closed. Like, oh, they close on Tuesday. Or like, it's just the most random shit. Like, it's like, y'all motherfuckers don't like making bread. Like, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. And then with some Atlanta restaurants, I be noticing too that it's like, it's either they open too late or they close too early. Like motherfuckers be closing like at 6 o'clock or will take a fucking, it's just insanity. And it's always the food wait is so busy. It's so busy. Like I feel bad for Atlanta residents. Thank you, Jesus, I'm famous. But even me being famous is like a hassle. It's a hassle. It's like they treat you like they doing you a favor. Like they doing you a favor. Like y'all want motherfuckers to come back? Y'all want people to come back?
So we can continue to talk about why do Black people rather spend money with Asians or white folks than Black folks. This is why. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't also talk about the Black customer. Because as Black folks, we also introduce better versions of ourselves to white establishments than we do to Black establishments. When we go to Black-owned businesses, we think we have permission to act an absolute ass, as we saw with the women who were twerking at the brunch place. We don't talk to our waiter with respect. We don't talk to our server, our hostess with respect. Now, maybe we can change that if the energy that we're met with is also positive, but we also as patrons have to own a bit of that responsibility. So as we see in other communities, they will give those new businesses a chance. Even if the wait is going to be long, even if everything isn't necessarily put together, they understand that it's a process. So we have to have some grace as well. Now, for me, that grace stops with terrible customer service. I'm willing to be patient that my food, my order wasn't right, or the wait times were longer than I anticipated. But if you cannot empathize with my effort, acknowledge my effort, and make restitution for your mistakes in a humble way, that's when it stops for me. And I think that's fair. But similarly, just like we ask Black businesses to be better, we also have to be better to Black businesses.
I'm dedicated to patronizing them, even though it's hard. Go by the little store in the morning, they ain't open yet. They late. How you gonna be late and you live upstairs in the same damn building? Go by in the evening, on the way home from work, they done closed early and got the hell on. Go by at lunchtime, the door locked. They got that little silly sign hanging on the door. We'll be back in 30 minutes. And they never tell you what time they left. It's the second minute or the 29th minute. Should I wait on your ass? And if the sign say we'll be back, that's more than one person. Why couldn't the sign say I'll be back? One of y'all could have stayed here to help my ass. Then when you get in the store, when you get in the store, they ain't got nothing you ask for. They're trying to sell you a bunch of substitutes. The substitutes don't make no kind of sense. You want sugar, they trying to sell you flour and grits. You want Pepsi, they showing you the Pabst Blue Ribbon. All them ignorant signs hanging on the wall, out of this, out of that, out of order, out of service, out of commission, out of change. We'll accept nothing larger than a $20 bill. You ain't got $19 worth of stuff on the shelf. Out of business, that's what you really ought to be out of. Come out of my mind, for going out of my way to support you, but I'm dedicated. I'm determined to patronizing my own struggling folk. I got enough money now to eat wherever I want. I can go to fancy restaurants and eat a bunch of stuff I can't even pronounce. Got to point to it on the menu to keep from embarrassing myself. I can go to fancy restaurants where the waitresses walk up to the table and respect you. Ask, what would you like, sir? But that ain't where I choose to go. I go to the little old broke down, struggling, family-owned soul food restaurant where they treat you. That's where I go, where they treat you like you ain't worth a damn. Like they really don't even want you in the damn place. Where the waitress just walk up to the table and stand there and look at you. She don't say nothing. You got about 30 seconds to order something, because she just walk off. You must not want a damn thing, man. You know what you brought yourself into. That's where I choose to go. And I don't go being quiet. You don't get no ulcer trying to help nobody. I be raising hell when I hit the door. You know things gonna be run backwards. Oxtails, $14 or $15 a plate. You can buy a whole damn ox for about $9.75. I be raising hell asking questions like, how come it ain't no screen on the screen door? What about all these damn flies flying around in here? Should have brought me a fork, a knife, a spoon, and a fly swatter to kill some of these damn flies. Where the napkins at? Where the rest of the tablecloths at? What's all this sticky stuff on the damn table? How come my table won't be still? How come my chair wobbling? I got to balance myself up here. You getting hard chicken. Why is the cook and the waitress putting the food on my plate with her hands? You got no utensils in this damn place? Why don't somebody sweep them cobwebs down off the wall? Where the rest of the ceiling tiles at? Where the light bulbs and the lampshades at? How come the ceiling fan ain't got no blades on it? Why don't you cut it off? It ain't cooling a damn thing. Just clicking, irritating my ass to death. What kind of bug is that over there? What kind of bug is that? What about the bug on the wall? Is he dead? Just sweep his dead ass down. He's alive. Why is he standing still looking at my table? Did he order something up in here? Was it for here or is that the to-go line on the wall? Is he at my table? Maybe I'm at his damn table. How come you got to cut through the kitchen to get to the bathroom? Then when you're going through the kitchen, you see the cook ain't got no net or nothing on her head. That's the dish rag wrapped around her sweaty neck. Her teeth sitting on the side of the pot. I know she's bald-headed, but she got dandruff. It's falling over in the chicken grease. Then the other day, once I got to the bathroom and finished doing what I had to do, then I looked up and realized wasn't no toilet paper or nothing in the damn bathroom. I left my pants down round my ankles. Got up, walked back into the kitchen, snatched that dish rag off her neck, wiped myself and threw it back at her. I brought myself right back to the same damn place, because I'm dedicated. I'm committed to patronizing my own struggling folk. I got the right attitude, and that's what you got to have. You can be smart and good looking, but if your attitude ain't right, you really ain't going far. You ever been in people can read your attitude. You ever been in a club or a restaurant? The waitress come to wait on you, be looking good and smart, well-talking, articulate, but just got a funky disposition, bad spirit. Bring you everything like you asked for it, but when you get it, you be afraid to eat it or drink it because you're acting so damn crazy. When the bill come, I be trying to find something wrong so I can just jump on it. But usually they're halfway smart and everything is right, but I still cringe when I got to tip them. But you can go again and get an old, ugly, broke-down waitress, clothes hanging all off her, one eye, 3 or 4 eyebrows, no teeth but braces on her gums, got on a stocking on one foot and a sock on the other foot, but just as nice as she could possibly be. Not too smart now. Take a long time to get what you ordered, and then when she bring it, she be done brought the wrong stuff, but happy to take it back and try to get it right. When the bill comes, you got to scratch out a bunch of ignorant stuff she done added on the ticket. Girl Scout cookie fund for her daughter, building fund at her church. But I still tip her because she had the right attitude, and that's what you got to have.
So ultimately, my message is simple. We can continue to be a defensive, self-centered, hollow delegation of people who are just preoccupied with what shit looks like as opposed to what shit is. Or we could actually consider sustainability. We could actually consider impact. And we could actually structure our institutions, including our businesses, in a way that prioritize the best interests of the communities that they serve. So we can inspire more people to do the same and hopefully build an economy that is no longer reliant on our counterparts. Because the reality is when people choose to take their business elsewhere, whether we're talking about Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State, whether we're talking about black men leaving the country, at some point you can no longer blame them. Because despite grace, everybody has a limit for what they will and what they won't tolerate. Shout out to Keith Lee. I think what he's doing is brilliant. He seems like a really good brother. I don't know how to support him, but when I do, I will. And yeah, these restaurants that he's calling out, I hope they fail. I hope that people see them fail so we can start moving in a better direction. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.